You never said forever. You never promised me the moon. You simply stayed beside me when the world was ending too soon. You never made a speech about us. You never needed perfect lines. But every time I looked at you, I saw something words can't define. Maybe promises unspoken, maybe they're simply lived. I saw the promise in your eyes, the kind that doesn't need a name. Not a promise nothing changes, but a promise you'll remain. Through the seasons and the questions, through the days we can't control, I saw something in your eyes that made my heart feel whole. We have never been perfect. We've had nights we couldn't talk, but you always found my hand before you ever turned to walk. If tomorrow brings us storms, if the road becomes unknown, I don't need you to predict it. Just don't make me face it alone. I saw the promise in your eyes, and I still see it after years. Not a promise without sorrow, but a promise through the tears. We don't need to know forever, we just need to take it slow. Because every time you look at me, I know where I belong. The promise in your eyes, still here. There is a place beyond the city where the night is almost still. No traffic lights, no crowded voices, only mountains on the hill. We drove there without a reason, just to leave the world behind. You looked up into the darkness, and I saw peace inside your eyes. Maybe we were never looking for a place at all. We found a place between the stars, somewhere nobody could reach. A little piece of quiet where your heart could talk to me. No promises of forever, no perfect words didn't know what you were looking for. I didn't know the way you laughed when something caught you by surprise. I didn't know that one day you'd become my safest place in life. Funny how a stranger can become a part of you. Do you remember when we were almost strangers? When your name was just a name to me, before your voice became familiar, before your smile became a memory. We had no idea that morning how far our little story would go. Now I can't imagine my life without the person I didn't know. Now I know the songs you give, the dreams you keep beneath your skin. I know when you say you're fine, you sometimes mean please let me in. Maybe life hides beautiful things inside ordinary days. A stranger walking through a doorway, a simple smile that changes everything. Do you remember when we were almost strangers? When your name was just a name to me, before your voice became familiar, before your heart became home to me. We had no idea that morning how far our little story would go. Sometimes the greatest love begins with someone we don't even know. Almost strangers, now my favorite story. Dear me, I hope you're doing better. I hope you learn to sleep at night. I hope you finally stopped comparing your journey with another life. Did you find the place you dreamed of? Did you learn to trust your heart? Did you stop being afraid that every ending means you're lost? I don't know who you'll become, but I hope you still believe. I'm writing letters from the future to the person I will be. I hope she knows how far she traveled. I hope she still remembers me. Every dream that feels impossible, every road I cannot see, I will leave a little hope behind for the woman I'll someday be. Maybe you have found your purpose. Maybe love has found you too. Maybe there are little children waiting just to smile at you. became a different one. I hope you still feel free. Every dream that feels impossible, every road I cannot see, I will leave a little courage for the woman I'll someday be. Dear future me, keep going. I've slept in rooms with golden windows. I've seen cities from the sky. I've stayed in places people dream of, but never felt I belonged inside. Then you reached across the table, put your hand inside of mine, and suddenly that little moment felt like everything aligned. Maybe home is not a building. Maybe home is how you feel. Your hand's my home, wherever we may go. I don't need a perfect place, I only need to know that when the world gets louder, I can find my way back home. Your hand's my home, that's all I've ever known. We can live beside the ocean or a little street downtown. We can have a tiny kitchen with old photographs around. We don't need a perfect picture, we don't need a life of gold. If your hand is there beside me, I will never feel alone. Maybe forever isn't somewhere. Maybe forever is someone. Your hand's my home, wherever we may go. I don't need a perfect place, I only need to know that when the world gets louder, I can find my way back home. Your hand's my home, that's all I've ever known. And when our hair turns silver, when our footsteps become slow, I'll still reach across the table just to feel the hand I know. Your hand's my home after all these years. Through the seasons, through the changes, through the laughter and the tears, I don't need a perfect ending, I don't need to know what's shown. As long as I can hold your hand, I'll always know my home. Your hand's my home. trees were bare in December. Nothing green around the house. I had stopped expecting springtime. I had learned to live without. Then you brought a little flower, placed it gently by the door. You said even winter seasons don't mean flowers bloom no more. I didn't believe you then, but I wanted to. You grew a garden in December where I thought nothing could grow. You found a little piece of sunlight underneath the winter snow. I was waiting for the season you were teaching me to see. Sometimes spring doesn't come from weather. Sometimes spring comes from somebody. Every morning you would water that small flower by the stairs. Slowly green began appearing, like a promise in the air. I started opening the curtains, started letting sunlight in. I didn't know I was rebuilding everything I'd lost within. Maybe healing isn't sudden, maybe it begins this small. You grew a garden in December where I thought nothing could grow. You found a little piece of sunlight underneath the winter snow. I was waiting for the season you were teaching me to see. Sometimes spring doesn't come from weather. Sometimes spring comes from somebody. And if someday winter finds me, I'll remember what you showed. Even frozen ground can soften when somebody gives it hope. You grew a garden in December, and you never asked it to stay. You just gave it warmth and patience, and the flowers found their way. Now I know that every winter has a hidden possibility. Sometimes spring doesn't come from weather. Sometimes spring begins in me. A garden in December, still growing. There was one seat on the balcony, and you were sitting next to me. The movie started in the dark, but I was watching where you were. You whispered something about the ending. I pretended not to hear. Then you laughed beneath your breath, and somehow everything felt clear. Maybe the best stories are never written on a screen. We were sitting in the last seat, watching somebody else's life. But somewhere between the pictures, you became a part of mine. The credits rolled around us, people disappeared into the night, but I stayed there for a moment, just to memorize your smile. We walked outside beneath the streetlights, talking about the things we feared. You told me all your secret dreams, and somehow I felt less afraid. We didn't make a promise, we didn't say we'd never change. We just walked beneath the city, letting something beautiful begin. Maybe love doesn't need a reason, maybe it only needs a chance. We were sitting in the last seat, watching somebody else's life, but somewhere between the pictures, you became a part of mine. The credits rolled around us, people disappeared into the night, but I stayed there for a moment, just to memorize your smile. Sitting in the last seat, and the whole world disappeared. No perfect lines, no perfect ending, just two hearts becoming near. And even if the movie changes, even if the years move on, I'll remember that small balcony where our story first came on. The last seed, the first chapter. I used to wake before the sunrise, watching shadows on the wall. Every room was painted silent, every sound felt far too small. Then I heard you in the hallway, saying something I can't recall. Funny how a simple sentence made the gray disappear at all. You never knew what you were changing, you never knew what I could see. There was color in your voice when the world had turned to gray. There was sunlight in the way you said my name. You didn't have to save me, you just stayed and let me breathe. And somehow the quiet colors came alive inside of me. Now the morning feels much brighter, even when the sky is blue. I hear music in the traffic, I see flowers where I never knew. Maybe love is not a lightning, maybe love is something slow, like a sunrise through a window, something gentle that can grow. You never promised me forever, you only gave me something true. There was color in your voice when the world had turned to gray. There was sunlight in the way you said my name. You didn't have to save me, you just stayed and let me breathe. And somehow all the quiet colors came alive the years keep moving, it will never fade away. You didn't have to save me, you just showed me how to see. And somewhere in the colors, a better version lives in me. Found a little light. You remember how I take my coffee. You know I hate the morning cold. You leave the window slightly open when you know I'm coming home. You never make the biggest promises, you never need a perfect line. You simply notice all the little things that everyone else leaves behind. That's love in the little things, in the way you wait for me, in the umbrella when it's raining, in the "Are you home?" I see. It's not diamonds, it's not roses, it's the small things that you do. If someone asks me what love looks like, I'll point to all of you. You know when I need conversation, and when I only need some space. You can tell I'm hiding something just by looking at my face. Maybe love was never fireworks, maybe love is candlelight, something warm that keeps on burning long after the world says goodnight. That's love in the little things, in the way you wait for me, in the quiet Sunday mornings, in the hand that reaches me. It's not diamonds, it's not roses, it's the little things you do. If someone asked me what love looks like, I'll point to all of you. If today feels too heavy, you don't have to carry it all. If your hands are tired of holding, it's okay to let something fall. You don't have to see the mountain, you just have to take one step. You don't have to fix your whole life, you just have to breathe again. Maybe a little more tomorrow, maybe one more light to find, maybe one more reason waiting on the other side of night. You don't have to be fearless, you don't have to know the way. Just promise me you'll give your heart a little more tomorrow than today. Some flowers take longer growing, some stars take longer to appear, some dreams need a little silence. before they finally become clear. And if you fall, I'll remind you, falling isn't where you stay. Every morning is another quiet chance to start It's not the flowers on the table, it's not the words you always say. It's something smaller, something quieter, that changes everything. When the whole world feels so crowded and I don't know where I belong, you look at me and say my name, and suddenly the fear is gone. Maybe you don't even notice, but I feel it every time. It's the way you say my name, like I'm more than yesterday, like every broken part of me was always worth the wait. You don't have to promise heaven, you don't have to change the rain. All I need is that little moment when you say my name. I could forget 1,000 roses, I could forget expensive things, but I remember how you found me when I couldn't find myself. Maybe love is not a grand confession, maybe love is being seen. And in a world that moves so quickly, you make room for me to breathe. It's the way you say my name, like I'm more than yesterday, like every hidden part of me deserves a place to stay. You don't have to promise forever, you don't have to know the way. Just keep looking at me like that and softly say my name. If tomorrow finds us, we don't know where the road is going, we don't know what the years will bring. There are dreams we haven't spoken, There are songs we haven't sung, but tonight your hand is in mine, and the future doesn't feel so far. Maybe we don't need the answers. Maybe this is where we start. If tomorrow finds us, let it find us side by side. Let it bring us different seasons. Let it change the world outside. We don't need to know forever. We just need another day. If tomorrow finds us together, I'll be happy anyway. Maybe someday we'll live by the ocean. Maybe somewhere far from here. Maybe life will test our courage. Maybe love will calm our fears. Whatever happens, whatever changes, I'll remember this tonight. Two uncertain hearts believing that the future might be kind. If tomorrow finds us, let it find us side by side. Let the years become our story. Let the seasons pass us by. We don't need to know forever. We just need another day. If tomorrow finds us together, I'll be grateful anyway. You taught the rain to sing. I used to hate the sound of rain. It always brought the clouds again. Every window felt like yesterday. Every storm took light away. Then you came and stood beside me, watching raindrops on the glass. You smiled and said, listen closely. Not every storm is meant to last. And somehow in that moment, the whole world sounded new. You taught the rain to sing. You taught my heart to breathe. You found a little sunlight in places I couldn't see. Now every storm feels softer. Every cloud can let light through. I never knew the world was beautiful until I saw it next to you. Something peaceful in the silence, when I know I'll make it through. Maybe you didn't change the weather, maybe you changed the way I see. And sometimes that's the greatest gift another heart can give to me. You taught the rain to sing, you taught my heart to breathe, you found a little sunlight in places I couldn't see. Now every storm feels softer, every night can lead to blue. I never knew the world was beautiful until I saw it next to you. We never said it in the daylight, never wrote it on a wall. But every time the night came down, I could feel it through it all. You would stand beneath the streetlight, I would smile across the road. There were things our hearts were saying that our voices never showed. Maybe some feelings are too beautiful to belong to words. The moon knows our secret, the stars have seen it too. Every quiet midnight led my heart to you. We don't need 1,000 promises, we don't need the world to know. Somewhere underneath the moonlight, our little secret grows. Maybe someday we'll be fearless, maybe someday we'll confess. But tonight I'll keep this feeling like a letter on my chest. If tomorrow changes everything, let tonight remain the same. Two hearts underneath the silver sky, whispering without a name. The moon knows our secret, the stars still shine above. Every quiet midnight was teaching us about love. And if the morning takes the feeling, I'll remember what I knew. Somewhere underneath the moonlight, my heart was home with you. I don't need a castle waiting, I don't need a perfect view. Give me coffee in the morning and a quiet room with you. Let the world keep running faster, can take our time instead. I would rather share the little things than chase a life we never had. Because forever isn't one moment, it's the moments every day. Give me 1,000 little mornings, 1,000 nights beside your light. Give me ordinary conversations and your hand to hold at night. If I get 1,000 little mornings, I would spend them all with you. We'll grow older with the seasons, watch the colors come and go. Maybe silver finds our hair, maybe children learn to grow. And when the years become our story, I'll still know what matters most. Not the places we remembered, but the moments we came home. Love is not the perfect picture, love is staying through the rain. It's the 1,000 little choices to choose each other once again. Give me 1,000 little mornings, 1,000 sunsets in your eyes. Give me every imperfect moment, every tear and every smile. I don't need a grand forever, I just need a life that's true. If I get 1,000 little mornings, I'll be grateful there with you. I used to think that love meant holding every moment in my hands, never letting time take anything away from what we had. But love can be a quiet promise, not a chain around a soul. Sometimes giving someone freedom is the deepest way to hold. So if the road takes you somewhere I can never follow, go where your heart belongs, go where you can breathe. If another sky is waiting, I'll still wish you peace. I don't need to be your forever to know what you gave me. Some love stays in our hearts by learning how to set us free. I hope you find a little garden somewhere underneath the sun. I hope you wake up every morning feeling proud of who you've become. And if you ever think about me, don't remember all the tears. Remember how we made each other braver through the years. Maybe love was never meant to keep two people standing still. Maybe love is simply wishing someone finds the life they will. Go was a season without color. Every morning felt the same. I thought the ground beneath my feet would never feel alive again. Then one small flower found the sunlight growing through a crack in stone. It didn't ask the world for permission. It simply learned to grow. That's where the wildflowers grow, where nobody expects them to. Through the cracks and through the shadows, they find a little light to bloom. I don't need to be who I was. I don't need to hide the scars. If something beautiful can grow here, maybe I can grow here too. I started walking without rushing, started breathing without fear. I learned that healing isn't magic, it's just choosing to stay here. No perfect ending, no sudden change, just tiny steps through yesterday. And every flower that I see reminds me what I still can be. That's where the wildflowers grow, where nobody expects them to. Through the cracks and through the shadows, they find a little light to bloom. I don't need to be who I was. I don't need to hide the scars. If something beautiful can grow here, maybe I can grow here too. I'll grow where the wildflowers grow. I found a photograph online, a birthday dinner, everyone was smiling. There was an empty space, I knew, but somehow life still carried through. I stared at every familiar face, trying to imagine that place. For the first time I understood, the world keeps moving like it should. There's a photograph without me, and somehow that's okay. The people that I love keep living on every ordinary day. I don't have to be in every moment, I don't have to hold every scene. Love can live beyond our presence and still mean everything to me. I used to think that being absent meant I was being forgotten. Now I know some bonds grow stronger when we stop trying to hold them. We are chapters in each other's stories. Not every page belongs to us, and maybe that's the beauty of loving without holding on. There's a photograph without me, and now I smile today. The people that I love keep living in their own beautiful ways. I don't have to be in every moment, and still mean everything to me. Before the first hello, somewhere tonight you're looking up, maybe wondering if love is enough. Somewhere I'm writing this song, not knowing you've been waiting all along. Maybe we passed on different trains, maybe we walked through different rains, maybe every wrong goodbye was bringing you a little closer to my life. This is before the first hello, before we know what we don't know, before your hand finds mine, before our stories intertwine. Somewhere between now and then, two strangers are becoming friends, and maybe love has already started before the first hello. You might be sitting by a window, I might be driving through the city. Neither one of us can see the future waiting quietly. I don't need to know your name, I don't need to know the day. I'll just keep becoming ready for the moment you arrive. This is before the first hello, before we know what we don't know, before your eyes meet mine, before two separate worlds combine. Somewhere between now and then, two strangers are becoming friends, and maybe love has already started before the first hello. Every morning, Route 19, same old streets and same old scene. I always choose the window side and watch the city pass outside. Then one rainy Tuesday morning, someone sat beside me quietly. We didn't say a single word, but somehow the silence felt heard. Maybe someday someone will sit in the empty seat beside me, someone who doesn't need a perfect story, someone who can simply be. I won't know their name tomorrow, I won't know where this road will lead, but I'll leave a little room beside me for whoever I'm meant to meet. The city changes every season, people come and people leave. every time that bus arrives, I wonder who might sit with me. Love doesn't always end too loudly. Sometimes it takes the quiet way. A simple seed, a rainy morning, and a stranger who decides to stay. Maybe someday someone will sit in the empty seat beside me, and I'll laugh about the morning when we didn't know what this would be. Until then, I'll keep the window, keep my heart open and free. There's always room for something beautiful in the seat beside me.